hello everybody. Can you hear us okay? Yes? Awesome, it's working better than expected. So wonderful, it's so good to be here this morning. I'm Miguel Arias, I'm general partner at K-Fund, which is a venture capital fund. So we are the guys with the money willing to invest. And we recently launched a 250 million euro fund trying to invest in what would be the fabric of the new internet, enabling technologies where you can build a business model on top of it, right? And I would say, of course, blockchain is one of these enabling tech, so I'm very excited to hear more about new business models you can build over the blockchain. Of course, venture capitalists don't know much about anything, so what we try to do is always try to find people who know more about things and are experts, and I'm super happy to be with two great experts in the field. We have got here Alan and Anton, and I would love, first of all, to have them both in 1 or 2 minutes explain what they do. Okay, so then first for you.
Okay, so hello everyone. Sorry for my voice today. Typically I'm sexier, maybe closer to Antonio Banderas, but that's me today, sorry for that. So my name is Anton Pastoriza. I've been in the industry, pretty much in the financial industry for the almost 15 years. For the last 4 years I've been in the BCG, in the Platinion division, that is our IT strategy division in the BCG, and I'm mostly involved on emerging technologies, deep technologies, and pretty much aligned with FI, insurance, and also supply chain project types.
Awesome. Alan?
Hi, okay, thank you, Mike, for the introduction. My name is Alan. I've been in the industry, in the crypto industry since 2016. I'm the CEO of a development company that is Change the Block, and also I'm the, even that it says there, the head of product, I'm the managing director in Spain of Prosegur Crypto. I think that you all know Prosegur, what we do, but we are really focusing right now on the custody of different digital assets. And I'm really glad to be here with you guys. Hope this talk is a little bit entertaining for you. So please, Mike, the mic is yours.
Wonderful. I love it how we are all Spaniards with cool names, like Mike, Alan, Anton. Will seem like foreigners here. Amazing. So let's stop whining about the crypto winter for a second. I talk about making money with this, right? And it looks like a bit of what we are seeing is that we're trying to reproduce the models of Web 2 into the new dynamics and new technologies of Web 3, right? And my question to you, and starting with you, Anton, is, do you feel like Web3 business models are going to just replicate what we've seen in Web 2, or do you see some newly born examples and newly born models that can be applied?
Well, I think we are in a very special moment. We are living the transition for what we typically call the platform economy, that is Web 2, where we are finding that, we are operating with more and more digital transactions. But there's still a lot of intermediaries, a lot of men in the middle. And we are progressing to a more, let's call it a token economy. And in this token economy, we are removing the intermediaries. We are looking more for a value proposition across the network. And it's very special because there is no only man in the middles, but are contributors to the value proposition that are around blockchain and around the Web3. This is our current reality, and we are moving these days from Web 2 to Web 3 business models, reducing these intermediaries, adding more and more value proposition. We are living this transition. Yeah, so just like we see the static websites disappearing and been adopting more Web 2 business models. Now we are progressing towards this Web 3. We are in the middle. There is a buzzword that is called Web 2.5, where you can use blockchain, but you are not aware of the usage of a wallet. Most of the loyalty programs these days are adopting blockchain. And this is a transition. Maybe Web 3 is not very usable. I'm not seeing my mom connecting a MetaMask wallet in order to transact in a website.
Yet.
But,
yes.
And it's a cool moment, and we will see more and more Web3 in the future.
So from this transition that Anton mentioned, Alan, can you give us some real-life examples of things you're seeing beyond the custody that you're doing at Prosegur? What do you see?
Yeah. Well, I totally agree with Anton that we are living a change. Okay, so we are moving from Web 2 to Web 3, and there is the Web 2.5 in the middle. I think that there is some steps that we have to take before we get the mass adoption. So one of them is the MetaMask thing on the wallet side. On that sense, I see a lot of projects that are not so related right now with Prosegur. Like, for example, there is one that I really like it, that is Winbase. This is totally ads, okay? So...
are you getting paid for this? No.
I'm not getting paid yet.
Yet. Okay.
Okay. So the main idea is that they are giving, for example, the use of NFTs with the Web 2 use, but taking all the advantages that the Web 3 has, okay? So it's a little bit difficult to explain like that, so I recommend you all to get into the website and to take a look on it. On top of that, I see that there are other kind of protocols that are working a lot with this mass adoption. So again, I'm really fan of Ethereum, okay? I'm an Ethereum maximalist. I'm sorry for this if you don't like it. But for example, Polygon is working a lot on this sense. So what I see is there are a lot of real products that they are looking a way to offer the Web 3 while adapting to Web 2. And I think the adaptation, it's not because of Web 3 it's not ready, it's because we are not ready, okay? So I think that we need to switch our mentality, and the big corporations, and here Prosegur is working on that, it's trying to change the way that I understand the connection that we have with the people and with the internet. So I think there is some of real examples. Paid examples.
Yeah. you mentioned corporates, and you at BCG, you work with many corporates. So can you give us some other use cases that you're seeing nowadays?
Yeah, I would like to remark two projects that we've been working on that were very cool. One was for a car manufacturer. What they were able to create an ecosystem around its supply chain model where different partners are onboarding and contributing to the value proposition. And the second one is around sustainability. We've been working with a food company that what they did is the creation of a huge ecosystem of partners to create sustainable food and to be able to track and trace sustainable food so that they can, in the UK, because this is a UK-based company, you can know where the food comes from. And I think it's cool.
Wonderful, and you both touched on the need for adoption, right? I mean, it doesn't matter how much we talk about all this business model or technology being ready. If the public is not ready, then nothing can happen, right? But another relevant thing besides adoption, or once adoption is met, is governance, right? I mean, how do you feel that governance will be kept and maintained once mainstream adoption is achieved? What do you think? Maybe this is for you, Anton, first, and then if Anna want to say something, yeah.
Yeah, the point on governance is when we talk about...
It's tricky. Governance is always tricky.
Governance is always tricky, of course. But the point is that when we talk about blockchain and about the value proposition is about how you are able to rise the ecosystem and have partners that contribute to your network and that bring value. Keep a fully decentralized governance is, I would say it's complex. I would say actually it's very complex. I see a lot of projects fail due to the lack of governance. In the past, we have a couple of initiatives on the finance space, and if you as a bank are looking to rise your own blockchain network and you want other banks to join, there will be disputes. So it's not easy. And the reality is that if you take a look, major blockchain networks were unable to rise a fully decentralized governance model. What they did to govern was to rise a foundation, and the foundation take care of the network, and then you are able to bring to the partners. So some best practices, or at least lessons learned from my side, are pretty much three. One is the ecosystem thinking. It's not your network, it's the network that rise the value for your clients. Set the governance rules. I mean, what are the rules, the win-win, what's the value proposition, and how you have to contribute, what are the type of rights you have. And last but not least is that you cannot ask all the network participants to have the same responsibilities. You have to segregate, set clear roles, and let every company to partner and contribute with the value that they can give you.
Wonderful. You want to add something?
Yeah, I will add. So I totally agree with Anton. The reality is that I'm lucky enough to be part of a DAO, okay, with one of my friends here, that is David from Turing Capital. The reality is that I agree with Anton, but I think that there is a complexity when you take all this information into practice. Because again, the theory, it's really cool, but when we start to work, it's like a lot of work. And I think that the governance problem will be solved with the mass adoption on a sense, and it will be a problem on another one. But I think that the main topic here, and the way that I think that it should be solved, is to arrange a segregation, as he said, like where you have different roles within the organization. I know that it's not the typical decentralized way of working, but if you have some kind of roles, or at least you have the rewards, then I think there is the tokenized economy where it's going to be really important for this, because if you get reward, it's when you start working on this. And there you will have the solution to the governance problem, because you are going to have a hierarchy that is going to be based on your work, and you are going to be rewarded on tokens of something that you are creating. So you have, like a bigger incentive to create more economy based on that job or on that work, and it will help on the governance side.
You mentioned a few very interesting topics, both of you as before. One is tied about the need of a full-fledged ecosystem for this to work, with all the parties benefit, with right incentives and the right amount of trust among the parties. So what do you think is missing for this ecosystem play right now in Web3 models?
Yeah, I think, and again, this is my point of view, the problem is, again, the lack of ecosystem thinking. Right?
What would that mean? What is ecosystem thinking?
Yeah, the ecosystem thinking is that when you are defining the platform, or you are defining the product, you don't have to think only in how do I deliver my product. Is how do I raise a network of partners or of contributors that help me to deliver my product, and they all contribute to the value proposition that I'm trying to do. So, and the blockchain has a lot of advantages for that. If you want to set rules, it's easier, at least on the blockchain network, that you set the smart contracts that you are transacting with your partners, instead of signing boring legal agreements on one-to-one with your partners. Second one is remove the idea of you are a consumer of my product, you are a producer for my product. It's about, hey, we are all users in this ecosystem. And how we manage the partnerships is, hey, let's manage partners as part of my value, not as just as providers. And for me, this is the mindset, and how we have to rise the ecosystem thinking.
Well covered, but Alan, you want to add something?
Yeah, well, I agree with Anton, of course. I think that the way that it should work is always thinking about the adoption, and I think that the lack that we are having right now is a way to really adapt to the mentality that we have. So I think that the future is going to be really, I hope so, decentralized, and we are all going to adapt to this new internet. But to arrive to that point, we need to move forward on a way to do it much easier. And I think that one of the main problems that we are finding is the UX UI. So when the user gets into this new world, they have a lot of problems to really interact with the technology. It's what you said, Anton, before, like your mother, maybe it's not going to use MetaMask. So we need to find a way to solve that problem. And again, I know that this is advertising, okay, but there are a lot of companies doing, like, as I said before, okay, Winbase, etc., that they are doing a lot of work on that sense to really integrate. And I think there are a lot of companies that are really working on that, let's say, capabilities or way of working, as we have with people like Anton, that they help you on the side of how could the really, normal people use this technology. So it's try to really get into the technology on a way that we could all use it. And I think that's the lack that we are having, the mentality that let's try to make it easier to the people to get into this technology instead of them adapting to the technology. I think this is the switch that we need, and I think like this kind of help, it's the one that is making that change.
Understood. You can also disagree with Anton if you want, right? You don't need to agree with you decide.
And by the way, we all like MetaMask, okay? It's just as an example because, well, my mom is unable to connect it, but honestly, MetaMask is cool.
They're waiting for you outside the MetaMask. They're coming for you. So, I mean, when you have a hammer, it looks like everything seems to be a nail, right? And with all the blockchain fundamentalist, or in your case, Ethereum maximalists, I mean, this is the idea that this can solve everything. But we talk about the bright side all the time, and it's good because we are evangelizing. But what are the biggest failures you have seen, and this is made for you, Alan, on implementing these models at scale? What failed? What could have been done better?
Well, this is in my personal experience, okay? So I have a lot of fails in the ecosystem, and I think one of the main problems that we find here is that we try to solve everything with blockchain. I know that it's a really great technology. I love this technology, but it's not the solution for all our problems. Okay, so we need to really find or find a problem that it could be solved with this technology, or trying to find new kind of solutions based on this technology. But we cannot use this for everything. Okay, I heard a lot of people that says, okay, I want to install this blockchain technology, and at the end you say, why don't you do it with a database? You could do it even with an Excel. Why to have a blockchain? Because it sounds really cool, we are on hype, why not to get money about this? So I think that the change should be there. And of course, blockchain is a great technology, and I love to work in blockchain, but I know that it's not the solution for everything. So we need to find a way to really use it on real use cases that really give value to the user, instead of using it only because it's blockchain and it sounds great. So this is where I saw one of the main barriers to tackle.
Understood. Yeah, Anton, you want to add something else?
I think you made a fair point, a very, very, very good point.
You agree with Alan?
Yeah, fully.
There was the time, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, so this is one of the biggest common mistakes is, hey, I need a local ledger, but I'm going to build it in blockchain. Why? Because it's cool. The second common mistake we foresee is here at BCG, we have the opportunity to work with very big companies, and they say, hey, I like your speech about ecosystem. I'm going to rise my own ecosystem. Maybe your partners are not ready, but I want to do it. Help me. Oh, yeah. It's not that easy. Yeah, I'm the master, so all the partners will join me for sure. Well, this is something you need to work out, and it's a common mistake. And the last but not least is small companies, or maybe not so small companies, that say, hey, I'm going to be the next unicorn. I'm going to do something like Amazon with blockchain, or anything of a big company with blockchain. So this other blockchain flavor, just to make it cool, is also a big mistake.
And that was cool last year. It's not so cool this year anymore, so maybe not, right? Totally. Yeah. So we are nearing the last minute to 2 minutes of the talk. So and we know there are so many Web3 builders in the room, right? So I would love for each of you to give like a few tips or advices from personal experience of what you're seeing to all the Web3 builders trying to create great business models in this frosty year. And I know you are an entrepreneur yourself, Alan, so you want to start with your own experience and some tips, and then to Anton?
Okay, so the first lesson is not to do it, okay? So don't be an entrepreneur, because you're going to lose a lot of years.
Run away, don't do it.
Run away, it's the time. No, really, I think that from the Web3 perspective, the advice is, again, to really find a focus on really knowing that the technology is going to be useful. And again, this is really, like the typical thing that you say to all the startups, like try to find value and try to make your customer, that they really win something. But on Web3 it's the same. And again, don't be afraid of asking other people, okay? So again, I know that it's a new world, okay? And there is a lot of people that really knows how to work here. So maybe you pay a consultant, or maybe you ask your friends, or maybe wherever, but let's do it. Don't be really close about the blockchain that you use, okay? Don't get locked there, okay? And think about the future and how to escalate. Because right now, the blockchain technology is used for POCs and really small projects, but there is going to be a point where it's going to be a mass adoption, and you need to be prepared for that. So let's start focusing on how the future will look like, and this is my my advice that I'm not sure if it's value enough, but
Yeah,
hope
it is
helps.
indeed. So Anton, last tips from your side?
Yeah, thank you. Very quick, just some additional tips on top of the one from Alan that are cool. One is emphasize on the strategic importance and deliver quick wins first. Don't try to do the whole project, don't try to do the whole value chain, just do the quick wins. And after the quick wins, do incremental delivery. Well, pretty much Alan mentioned all of them. And last one I'm gonna say is be aware of the regulation. If your project can be impacted by the regulation or you are planning to deliver in different countries, take into account the regulation. And last but not least, do ecosystem thinking.
Wonderful. So thank you so much. Time is up. My last piece of advice is to be lucky for all of you. So try to be as lucky as you get. And thank you so much to Alan and Anton for the time, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Mike.